Hello, this is Kangsun Cho. In this presentation, we will discuss outcome two children are connected with and contribute to their world from VEYLDF. As a description of the outcome suggests, this particular framework is designed for all years educators and possibly others to foster children's self-identity, culture, and membership of the community. Overall, the framework frequently emphasizes elements of recognition and contribution, and the instruction to do so is illustrated in following two belonging, being, and becoming documents. If we examine these documents with existing research and contemporary ECEC policies, first, it can be identified that the documents were considerably fragmented, as previous examples demonstrate. Educators may need to look at the documents which doesn't necessarily complement each other to support diverse contexts and needs of Australian children and effective education. Also, the common criticism of modern ECEC policy is were significant uh, presence and influence of neoliberalism and marketization in the education. In relation to this argument, the example framework can possibly provide impression of utilizing children and other stakeholders as a means of achieving national economic aspiration rather than qualified education for young children. Along with this attitude of apparent human capital and social investment embedded in the ECC policies, current neoliberal policies requires further development because it does not equitable to standardize or measure on children's performance and uh, achievement based on the complex moral values such as outcome 2, and it is worthy of mention that it is designed for the qualified teacher. In this problematic nature of current Australian ECEC policy, marginalized groups such as under or no qualified or non-qualified all years educators and social minorities such as indigenous and low socioeconomic children and families will continue to segregated from quality education. While there are multiple obstacles were identified, but it has been recommended that the policymaker to include voice and circumstance of ECC educators and families, and as for the educators to become street level of bureaucrats and get involved policy making process, thus ultimately resulting a national wide quality education in early years education. Thank you for listening. Then conclude my oral presentation.